Hey gang, Mel here with the Screencasting Wizard, helping you digitize your knowledge to get it online and web ready. And today we'll be talking about how I manage all of my video assets across all of the different modules and courses that I manage. Okay, so it turns out the problem that I have in terms of managing my videos across different modules, and then those modules, they can also be embedded in different courses. How do I manage all of those things when a change in one affects so many other objects? And it turns out I'm not the only one that has this question, because here's someone who's asking the same question about, does anyone out there know of a database that manages course development? And her challenge is they have 150 online courses and way too many redundant spreadsheets. There's got to be some kind of database that they can keep notes about changes that need to be made, latest revisions, course, subject matter experts, developers, and so on. And of course, I chimed in and said, you know, I feel your pain. So here's my challenge. With the company that I work with over at Kerio, for instance, I manage, and I either have a direct hand in or I have an indirect hand in creating hundreds, literally hundreds of videos. And each of those videos ultimately ends up in some kind of an online how-to as a standalone video, or they can actually be bundled, cherry-picked, and put into a module, or even into multiple modules. And then those modules themselves can be cherry-picked and then rebundled and put into individual courses. The challenge is when a feature set changes in the software that we're talking about, right? Well, then you know that the video gets impacted. The thing is if you know that you're kind of being modular with your development and you're reusing videos across different modules, then you need to know also which modules are now affected by that video that got changed. And then, in fact, those modules, since they can be reused and put into different courses because you're being really efficient, which courses now have changed. Finally, I just decided, you know, I just need to create my own database. So I downloaded Bento. So what I'm going to show you is very Macintosh specific, but you can do the same thing in FileMaker Pro on a Windows platform as well. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the solution I put in place, and the structures will probably be the same kinds of things. Now, so in Bento, what you have here is files for what they call libraries. So the main structures are you have the database. Within the database, you have what they call libraries, and then libraries. Within libraries are also collections. Now, basically, you might think of a library as essentially a table if you're kind of in database mode, and then you might also think of, or it could be a spreadsheet if you're kind of more familiar with Excel spreadsheets and so forth. So a library is a spreadsheet, right? And then within each of these libraries, you can also create what's called collections. And essentially, collection is just a subset. It's kind of like a playlist in iTunes. As a matter of fact, Bento uses that metaphor to explain what a collection is. And I think that's a very apt metaphor. I like to think of them as filters for the data that's in the table. And then across each of these tables, or I'm sorry, what they call libraries, I guess I should be using their terminology. I'm going to go ahead and hide the collections because I want to focus mainly on the main solution that I'm using here. So I created these libraries, or tables if you want to think of them, one for videos, one for modules, because again, I typically reuse different videos across different modules. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of modules here that I create. And then those different modules can also be reused across different videos and so on. Okay? So you see each of my tables. Now we can, or libraries, I need to get to the wording here. The other thing is each of those libraries can also be linked to each other. Now it's worth saying that if you're a database administrator or a purist database adherent, you might say, well, yeah, those relational links are not true relational databases. You know, I won't debate that point, but all I can tell you is that at this point, this solution I think is working out very well for me. So, and I will go ahead and package this up, and they have a platform, a forum where you can use templates, reuse other people's templates, and so on. So I will upload this as a template to the Bento website, and you can go ahead and download it. Okay, I'll provide the link to it down below this video. Okay, so here's the video. So the video is kind of the most granular object I have. So let me show you how I use this. So I basically keep track of all my videos. Now they look like spreadsheets initially, but you can also create forms. So if you prefer to enter in a form base, you can easily create these things. And then each of these objects are drag and drop. So if you have a field here that you've created in your library, drag and drop is just basically grabbing a field from your field list and dragging it over to your form, and there it shows up basically on your form. But the other thing too is you can take these individual other libraries, all right, so this is the video library, right, but I can also take this module library here because I want to relate videos to modules. So if I take this module, I can actually, you can see where I just dragged it down here. So let me delete this modules element for just a second. Like it's drag and drop. You simply drag a module, you put it right in here. By the same token, I've also created an issues log down here as well. That looks like a table, but it also has its own form as well. Let me go back to my videos library. So in the videos library, what I've done here is created the related issues by the same, the same way that I drug in the modules library to show on the videos form. Now what I have is one view where I can see for each video which modules do they belong with, and are there any issues related to that video, okay? So for instance, I might create a new video title here. Let's create a new one. So I'll just click the new button down at the bottom. Let's create one, a demo video for my friends. Video notes, test video. All right, and today is the 16th. I'm doing this on the 16th of February. And then I've got different other fields for disposition in terms of what part of the workflow it's in. And this is easy to change on the fly by just editing the field, and you can add more items in there. All right, so that goes in there. So we'll just say that this is going to be removed later on after I'm done with this video. And then I've got a couple of other custom fields in here for myself that tells me where that video is in my file structure, what the format is that I published it in, and then what tool I used to develop it in. And today I happen to be using ScreenFlow. So, so now here's the thing. So which modules is this going to go into? Well, I can easily associate this with existing modules that I already have. So for instance, I might say it's going to be part of the demo module 1 for test module that I created earlier. Or on the fly, if I want to create a new module, I can also just say, just go ahead and add a demo module 2 for video blog. All right. And then who the author is, Mel, and the date that I created that module, and any other notes. And what that does is if I go to the modules library here, that now will show up down here. It gets entered in the modules library. Let me go back to the videos. All right. So I'm working in here. So now I know it's related to these two video modules. But if I have any issues that I come across, any of these videos that I want to tag, I can, again, by the same token, click this button and relate it to any existing issues, okay, that because I might have created an issue related to a course or a module that also affects this video, and I can relate it here. All right, or I can create it on the fly. So I might have an issue that started today and opened by Mel, assigned to Mel, description, need to delete the test video. So now the beauty of all of this stuff is now they will all show up in each other's view. And I might say, so for any one of the videos that I have here, here's a demo for my friends. I can basically go duplicate, or I can just double click and go directly to that record, see which modules are related, and if there are any issues associated with that. By the same token, I can go to the issues library and take a look at all my different issues here and say that, here's a medium level issue I want to take care of. And then if I double click that, then in the issues view, I can see what the issue is, who I've assigned it to, and then by the same token, see my videos, what modules they might relate to, if any, and then any additional courses that those might relate to. So in that sense, I can now basically be able to see where my videos are, what modules they relate to, and what courses those modules also relate to. So that way, when any feature changes to the underlying subject that I'm talking about, whether it's a website or a course or a piece of software where a window now changes or functionality in the software changes, I now can basically say, okay, for that particular topic, what video was related to that topic, and then what other modules are related to that. I can do all of that in my little bento spreadsheet. And then as I continue to grow and I want to scale this up, then I can basically then upgrade to FileMaker Pro, which is a more robust database, and then import in my bento database. All right. So I hope that helps out. And again, I will go ahead and upload this as a template for some of you to take a look at for your own work, and you can go ahead and customize it as well. All right. This is Mel with the Screencasting Wizard, helping you digitize your knowledge to get it online, web ready. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.